Okay, welcome to R008 Introduction to Programming. This is for the Level 2 Cambridge Nationals, and this is an overview tutorial for testing and evaluation. So, what's going to be included? A test plan, your functionality, testing the success criteria, and then moving on to a detailed evaluation. Now let's break those down into more detail. So, your test plan. First paragraph, explain why testing is important. Explain why businesses need to test and why you need to test it. Think of the client. Then go on to your test plan. Explain how you'll test the functionality of your game. Explain how you'll test the usability of the game. Don't forget to explain why you will test the way you will. Now this may be a couple of pages, and the more detail you have, the higher mark you'll get. Once you've completed your test plan, move on to your functionality. And this is where you get into the nitty-gritty of testing, and this will be several pages long. Testing tables, they're the starting point, and that's where you record the evidence. You're going to need headings that are going to be what you're testing, the method of your test, the outcome and the evidence, and then explain how you solved any problems. Especially if it failed, you must explain what you did to fix it. Then move on to think about what you test, and each table should be a table for each aspect of your game. A test for every level, a table for every level, a table for every sprite, tables for your overall game rules, and it's up to you to decide where you divide those tables up to. Make sure throughout your test you check all inputs, processes and outputs. Every input needs to be checked thoroughly, all your processes are that they carry out properly and the rules of your program and your algorithms are followed, and then output, what happens, the sound, the screen, any printing, check thoroughly that it comes out accurately. So again, it's about detail. To get into the top mark, it's about the fullness of your test and how much detail you've gone into. Then you need to talk about your success criteria. Think about what the client has paid you for. You need to recap your success criteria and then go over and justify and explain each of those success criteria in quite a bit of detail. Now don't get caught up in evaluation here, just present the facts. What was tested, what was the feedback, and then leave it at that. Don't comment on whether you liked it or not. Now, the final part here is, again, that's part of the last testing, so it's about whether you tested it fully and systematically to get those top bands. Now moving into the next section, it's your evaluation. Now, the principles of testing, of evaluating, are very straightforward, and again, it's about the thoroughness that secures the higher marks. So, consider the game requirements, the game plan, playability, programming, graphic style, success criteria, consider the user, consider the client, and draw it all together in a final conclusion. And then move on to a personal evaluation. Talk about what would happen if you were to do this project again. Now there's going to be several pages of this. You may fuse it together with some of the other sections, but you must conclude at the end in writing an overall summary of what you thought of your your program. Again, the criteria are quite complex this time, and to get into the top band you have to cover all requirements, all success criteria. Your evaluation has to be very thorough, you have to present it coherently, and you have to use an accurate range of technical vocabulary, especially when you're evaluating the programming constructs you used. So good luck with all of that. There's quite a lot to do to make sure that it's all written up nicely. It is going to be several pages, and again, the more thoroughly you do it, the higher your mark. Good luck.